what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 1991 Ford Mustang LX. Up front is a 5.0 liter V8 and down below is a 5-speed manual transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving this Fox body Mustang because it is so clean. I love Fox body Mustangs and I've actually never driven a notchback before. And so I'm excited to share this little piece of history with you today. But if you would like to share your little piece of history or just your car with me and you have it reviewed here on the Shooting Cars YouTube channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form, takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. But let's get back to that 5-liter V8. Well, if we're going by technical standards, it's actually a 4.9 liter, but Ford of this era was proud to call it the 5.0 and round up just a little bit. This engine is synonymous with the Fox body Mustang, the third generation of Mustang. By 1991, the Fox body Mustang was actually nearing the end of its run. 1993 was the final year. Oh, but isn't it glorious? The torque carries you. The engine is unbothered by any input that you give it besides gas, gas, gas. And I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Now, like I said, paired to it is a 5-speed manual transmission. And this car is actually a originally automatic car that has been swapped to the manual. Now, one downside of the manual is the incredible stiffness. The clutch is unforgiving and hard. The shifter does not want to go where you want to put it. It is a boxing match anytime you want to shift gears. But that's how older American cars used to be. And while it isn't my preference, it is definitely a style. And it does give you relative confidence once you do put it into gear. It says, hey buddy, you want to do it? Let's do it. And then you go forward. Last but not least, this is rear-wheel drive, of course. And this does have 411 gears in it for a little bit of that extra acceleration. So how does it feel to drive a Fox body Mustang? Well, like I said, the shift points are unforgiving, but that torquey engine carries you along, and this genuinely does feel like a muscle car. To me, of the 80s and 90s, the Fox body Mustang is the muscle car. I know it's a pony car, I know it wasn't the fastest out there, but to me, I just want to drive this in a cut-off tank top t-shirt, take it down to Walmart, get some meats to grill, and listen to Bruce Springsteen the entire time. And that's a lovely feeling to have. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have a bunch of gauges. Off to the left, I have my battery voltage, coolant temperature, and tachometer. And off to the right, I have my speedometer, oil pressure, and fuel. Attached to the gauge cluster, I do have some buttons, very, very 80s here. We have our lighting switches to the left, hazard and rear defrost off to the right. The Mazda RX-7 did this, the Toyota Supra did this. So very, very much par for the course for an 80s designed vehicle. The steering wheel does have an airbag. It is large and cushiony and awkward, but I do have little horn buttons, cruise control on the left and right, so it's not completely in the Stone Age. Off to the left, I do have a climate control vent. And moving on to the door, I have my latch to get in and out, power locks, and power windows. Very nice features here for 1991. Moving into the center, we do get this giant shelf, and then we get 2 climate control vents, our climate controls themselves, which yes, this does in fact have air conditioning. Now, it doesn't work today, but it did come with it back in 1991. An aftermarket radio, because every radio from the 90s doesn't work anymore. And then we come down to the shifter. The shifter, much like how it feels, is large, in charge, and unforgiving. It's rather economy, it's nothing special, but it does the job, and it does the job pretty gosh darn good. Down below, we do have, of course, an ashtray and cigarette lighter. Power mirror adjustments, same button you would find in a Mazda RX-7 of the same era, / Ford Fiesta / probably every other Ford ever made. And off to the right, we do have our parking brake. We do get a tiny center console, however, none of this incorporates any cup holders, So, unfortunately, but predictably, the 1991 Ford Mustang LX fails the big friggin' bottle test. Now, the seats are very comfortable. They're very old style cloth, and although this vehicle does have quite a bit of mileage, the seats have actually held up really, really well, and they're very comfortable, which is a huge drawing point to this interior. Yes, the Ford Mustang is brutal, in your face, and unforgiving, and yet the seats still coddle you and comfort you like most 80s and 90s cars do. I really, really miss this era of seating. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats in the notchback Mustang, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, getting into the back of the notchback Fox body. Oh, it actually honestly wasn't as bad as I thought. Would I be super happy and comfortable back here on a long road trip? No, but I'm actually doing okay. It's not terrible. You know, not as terrible as I thought it was gonna be, but not bad. Oh, I actually do have a little push-out ashtray back here. Very nice, very nice. Very cool. All right, not so bad. Let's hop out and take a quick look at the trunk. All right, so we're on the back of the 91 Mustang. Now, we do have two keys. Round key, which is way larger, is for the trunk, square key for the ignition. So, round key. And not really too much room to play with. Now, of course, the hatchback was gonna have more room in the trunk area, but honestly not bad for a little muscle car, pony car, sports car, whatever you wanna call this thing. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and I've said it once before this summer, and I'll say it yet again here in 2023. The Fox Body Mustang is my favorite generation of Mustang, and the notchback is so special and so unique. You don't see notchbacks all that often. Most of them were hatchbacks. However, this is special. Only about 18% of Mustangs in 1991 were notchbacks. So pretty impressive and pretty rare to see. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving a 1991 Ford Mustang LX? Well, I love this Mustang with my whole heart. It's clean, it's simple, it's got the 5-liter, it's got the manual, and if there were any Mustang that I would own, ladies and gentlemen, here it is. I would probably try to seek one out in a little bit of a different color. They had that like sort of seafoam green that I am a big, big fan of. But alas, beggars can't be choosers. If Nolan ever decides to part ways with this Mustang, I hope to be the first person on his call sheet. I think it's beautiful, and I just can't get enough of looking at it. However, before we end this video, I do want to share a story behind this car. Now, this is a Ford Mustang LX, and it was actually originally registered by the state of New York. This was a fleet vehicle, and although the owner and I don't know much about this particular vehicle's history, word of mouth from the previous owner of this vehicle says that this was a fleet vehicle owned by the government of New York, and whoever was the lead driver on it spent the most time in this vehicle, responded to the September 11th attacks in New York, and unfortunately didn't make it home that day. The original driver, or one of the main drivers of this Mustang, was lost in the 9/11 attacks. And after the attack, the city was in shambles, the state, the nation, the world were in shambles. A friend of that driver found this car and bought it back to honor his late friend. That's why you see a couple of American flags placed around the vehicle. And so I want to share that story for two reasons. First of all, I wish I knew the name of the original driver to honor them in this way. But the other reason is the fact that maybe this video will find whoever used to own this Mustang. And maybe we can fill in the rest of that story and find the name of whoever owned it, or just the back history of a vehicle like this. This car is a piece of not only Mustang history, but American history, and a rather important one. I love this Fox body. I will continue to always love Fox bodies, and this is just such a great example. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Nolan for letting me take out his Fox body. He only bought this thing 2 weeks ago and emailed me, and I was so excited to jump on it. Nolan has been fantastic to work with, and I can't wait to see what he does with it. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.